Hello and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name is just going to smell of perfume for some reason. That's weird. It's got this big... Wow. It's almost like Vinny's just farted, but it's a nice smell. So it couldn't have been one of his farts. It couldn't have been. How strange. So yeah, welcome to me. I'm Jason Newland. This is Q&A Friday. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. And it is the 27th of June 2025. Ooh, that's nice. Oh dear. So, I've got my questions. I'll be honest with you. I'm recording this on Saturday morning. I am. I really am. Yes. It was, oh. Dum, dum, dum. So, yeah. Doing this Saturday morning. It's 9:47 a.m. I couldn't do it yesterday. I was so tired. I got home. What time did I get home? About 2 o'clock ish in the afternoon. And I sat for a little while and then I went to bed, went to lie down. Wow. No, I'm just on Facebook now and there's the politicians in America are not particularly loved, it seems. Not all of them are particularly cherished. Wow. Oh, so, anyway, let me have a look. Not particularly. I'll tell you what makes me laugh, okay, is people, when people say, oh, we want our free speech, or they say something like in this country, the Prime Minister is taking away our free speech, and he's a knobhead or something like that. And it just makes me laugh because... Or they say, oh, this person's a dictator. He's a dictator. If the person in charge of your country was a dictator, you would not be standing there with a big placard calling that person names. You would be in a prison. You would not be allowed to do that. It's so like, go do that in Russia or China. Go on, give it a go, baby. Go on. We don't have any free speech. No, I think you do. I think you do. It's a dictatorship. Okay. Well, the fact that you can say that online and you can walk around just freely saying that stuff means you're not living under a dictatorship. It means you don't understand what dictatorship means. I'll stop now. I'm moving back to Q&A Friday. I just find it funny. You don't understand. So, Q&A Friday, I have 6 comments, but they're not all questions. I got 1, 2, 3 questions. A 4th one, but it wasn't really a question, but I have sorted out the issue. So I'll address that one first. Michelle asks me, not really a question, but when I listen to the playlists on your website, I'll get ads during the podcast. Any way to avoid this? Thanks. Jonathan writes in reply, no ads on Apple Podcasts. And Michelle writes, I'm trying to listen to old podcasts from 2020, not current ones. Current ones? Current ones. And basically, for anyone that doesn't know, on my website, let's have a look. My beautiful website, which is now back. There is basically on the very first page, you've got all the latest recordings. And then at the top of the page, you got 4 boxes that you can click on: podcasts, playlists, podcast apps, and contact. And then below that, you got the PayPal link and the boring join the Facebook group link. If you click on playlists, at the moment there's only 4 playlists, 4 different podcasts that I've got playlists for. So clicking on Let Me Bore You to Sleep, for example, and I'm still in the process of building this. Okay, so it's going to take a while, but I'm still in the process. So the only one that works at the moment is without music. There currently isn't any playlists, old playlists with music at all. But there will be with music, or without music, with music, 5 hours without music, 5 hours with music, 10 hours without music, 10 hours all with music. But at the moment, just the without music ones. And I've got them in groups of 50, so 1 to 50, 51 to 100. The last one I've got is 1,351 to 1,400. So I have... yeah, so I've updated all of that. So they're all now on there. So that's... which wasn't before. I did that yesterday, so I managed to make sure it's all updated. Now, what I didn't know is that the alright, I don't know what I'm hearing. Someone's playing a movie or something very loud in the garden. So there was adverts in the middle of the podcast, which I would never have. Never. I would never do that. But the podcasts, because all of the new podcasts that I've done, the ones like 101 to 150, all those, I'd set those up separate, and I didn't click the right box. I didn't cancel the adverts. So adverts were playing. I've now gone through every single podcast from the playlists, that is, because it wasn't happening on the other podcasts, the normal podcasts. Because as I said, I would never allow that to happen. If I knew about it, I just didn't know about it. And I didn't even realise that the podcasts did that. They automatically had it. That it's kind of a setting that you have to undo manually. I didn't realise it did it. because it's been quite a while. I don't know why it did it anyway. That has been reversed, so none of the playlists will have that anymore. So just apologies to anyone that was affected by that. I've let Michelle know, but just letting everyone know as well now. So I've now got it changed. Anything else about my website? Let's have a look. I will look at, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to do probably a little bit of reverse engineering with this one, because I can't go too far back with the podcasts, because I'm only allowed to have the ones with music that have got the Spreaker music on them. The ones that, because that's the only one that the podcast allows. If I put any other different music on there, they might end up closing the podcast again, which I don't want to go through that again. So, you know, it might just be for the Let Me Bore You to Sleep, it might only be the last 100, 150 recordings maybe that has the music. And so I can't do that right now because I'm doing this, but I will look into that so that you can click on the, you know, have the versions that are 5 hours without music, 5 hours with music. Technically, I should be able to do 5 and 10 hours without music for every single one. But when I first started doing the Let Me Bore You to Sleep, I didn't do more than just the initial recording. I didn't do different versions, didn't do longer versions, didn't do versions with music at all. So what I might do, instead of going back and making new more recordings, I'm just going to leave the ones from the past as they were, but make sure that all future recordings are added, and all more recent ones are as well. That made sense to me when I said it, but I'm not sure if it made sense after I said it. I'm not even sure if that sentence made sense. Did it make sense? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm going to be sleeping a lot today. I am. I can feel it. I can feel when I've done this, I'm going to go and lie down. Very warm last night. Very warm indeed. I got no chocolate. I got some groceries yesterday, and all that money I spent on groceries, and it's like, I don't know, there's like nothing to show for it. It's like, what? Where's all the stuff? Where is everything? It's like there's hardly anything there. There's a breakfast cereal and some milk, some bread rolls, yeah, there's not a lot of stuff there. I'm not quite sure how it came to be £122. I don't know. But £122, I'd spend less than that in a month back in 1990. That was quite a long time ago, to be fair, but yeah, I remember when £30 was quite a big shop. It was a good, like, 2-3 bagfuls of food for £30. And, you know, £100, that would be an overloaded trolley full of stuff. Yeah, I need to look into that. I need to make some changes. I think because I order my food on Uber Eats, I get it delivered, like the groceries. I'm beginning to think that they just add on a lot more to the price. Because the delivery's £2, and maybe they I can't remember if they charge any for the. There's another charge, isn't there? I'm not sure. No, not a delivery. I think the delivery was. Yeah, maybe the delivery was £4. I always leave a tip of £2, which is not a lot, but it does add up over the weeks. But then I also carried all the stuff up. Oh yeah, because I got quite a few bottles of water. So that's like £4 a pack. So I got 4 packs of water. But I ended up helping, because when I first got stuff from Uber Eats, one of the main points of getting deliveries is so that I don't have to carry the stuff. It kind of seems to defeat the object of getting a delivery if I'm carrying it. I don't know, it just seems a bit of a weird concept, really. And the more time's gone by, the more often I end up helping them with the delivery. And part of the reason I don't want to sort of carry it is because of my back. So I was trying to avoid, doing all the bending over and stuff, if at all possible. I don't know. Yeah, I seem to have. I mean, I did delivery. This is a few weeks ago. It was a takeaway delivery. I think it was pizza. Rung me up to come down and collect it. It's like, no, do you not? You come in and you knock on my door. That's how it works. It's like, since when do delivery drivers not even knock on your door anymore? Did you? I'm just moaning today, aren't I? Did you know? In England, where I used to live, and probably the same in other places, maybe not London, but the same, in like towns and stuff. In the 80s, the early 80s, maybe the middle 80s, even in the 90s, I think, but definitely in the 80s, you'd order a taxi, they would knock on your door. They'd actually knock on your door to come and collect you, let you know the taxi's there. And then someone discovered the horn. And I think one of them must have seen the other one do it. I guess it's a bit like in Animal Kingdom, isn't it? You see a monkey breaks a nut with a rock, like, oh, and they all start doing it. It's a little bit like that, I think. And one taxi driver saw another taxi driver not getting out of the cab, not getting out of the car, and just bibbing his horn relentlessly until the person came out. Bearing in mind, this is before mobile phones, so the taxi couldn't phone, the person in the house. And then it just became that's how it became, like everyone just bibbed their horn. And now they don't bib their horn, it's just they just sit there. Maybe they phone you, or there's got apps now, and they send you a text. Your car's here. This is the registration of your car. The driver's name is unpronounceable, potentially. I try and pronounce the delivery drivers' names, I do. And they seem to like it. I think they appreciate the fact that I've given it a go, but I get it wrong so often. So, hi, Abdulanan bum dum, and they laugh. I remember one says, he said, no, my name's Jamie. So, oh, okay, sorry. I get it wrong, but I give it a go. I do. Because I don't know why, I just get bored, I guess. Ba-ba-de-bee, ba-ba-ba-ba-da-boom, ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-dee-bee-bee-bee-bee-bee. I don't know about Uber Eats. I'd kind of like to stop using them, really, because it's expensive. But it's getting to the point, McDonald's won't even deliver here now. They delivered here before. They delivered either if you went on their website or downloaded their app, or if I was to go through Uber Eats or one of the other ones, Deliveroo or whatever, and they would deliver McDonald's. Not anymore. They've decided it's too far away, which is kind of ironic because it's one of the closest places there is. I get deliveries from places way further away than that. The McDonald's here, well, the closest McDonald's probably about 5 minutes in a car from where I live. Just one straight road. It's not far at all. I wonder why that is. Maybe, I don't know. Mind you, the McDonald's always seemed to be cold when it got to me. No, I've not ordered it many times, but I've done a bit of market research, and other neighbours that have got McDonald's, they say the same thing. And the chips are cold, or the fries are cold, and the burgers are kind of lukewarm. I've not used that term for years, lukewarm. I wonder where it came from. Lukewarm. For those who don't know what it means, it just means slightly warm. It's a bit like when you fill your bath up and it's really way too hot. So you put some cold water in, but then you put in too much cold water in, and it goes from being too hot to too cold, too cool for a bath. It's not cold, but it's just lukewarm. And it's amazing how it's almost like 3 seconds too much. 3 seconds too much of cold water can turn it from being a nice bath to a cold bath. And then you need to put some more hot water in, but you have to unplug. You have to let some water out because it takes ages to get it hot again or warm. Strange, isn't it? It's one of those. It's an anomaly that needs to be sorted out. Forget space travel. We need to sort that one out. We need to figure out what's going on there. Anyway, Tammy is the first question. Oh, by the way, my neighbour he's doing all right. He's for those that want to know, still in hospital. He's had a scan, like a full, proper body scan, not like the ones I do with the recordings, but inside this big tube, and apparently they moaned at him because he kept moving around. I said there wasn't the right time to start dancing, was it really? We laughed. I mean, I think it's because he can't stop talking. He literally cannot stop talking. I was trying to figure, what is it? What is it that creates someone that cannot stop talking? I can be a little bit like that myself. Is it disliking silences or pauses? But it's kind of talking without listening as well. So I do have a tendency of talking, but I can also listen. And it's not a monologue. Not like here when I do this. This is a monologue, isn't it? I guess, isn't it? It's a monologue. Monologue. But in person, it's a two-way street, but it depends on what the conversational topic is. So if you start talking about boxing, providing you're a boxing fan and you know something about boxing, it's going to be a two-way conversation, like equally. But I'm going to be excited about what I'm going to say next. So I will be just waiting for you to stop talking so I can talk. But I will also be listening to what you're saying. And I'll readjust what I'm going to say depending on what you just said. It's almost like there's a big queue of things that I want to say, and they're just waiting impatiently to get on the ride. The next roller coaster, which is my verbal diarrhea that's about to pop out my mouth when I talk next. It's a little bit like that. But I noticed that I can't listen to someone that's talking about something I'm not interested in, unless it's kind of in a scenario like this. You know, if it's, you know, I've got my eyes closed and it's just relaxing, it's a kind of different thing. But in a real life situation, when there's a person just talking at me constantly for hours and hours, I find it hard. I'm not very good with that stuff. I've known a couple of people like that in my past, both really lovely people, genuinely really nice people, but once they start talking, I'd struggle to follow where they were going. I think there's a common thread, and I think I've kind of, in some ways, absorbed part of that kind of personality in order to produce these recordings in a way, because that's kind of how I started off with the Let Me Bore You to Sleep. It was just another version of something I'd previously done before anyway, which was speaking out quietly, I think, or thinking out quietly, something like that. And there was another one, I forget the name of it, but it was where I was just, I guess, stream of consciousness, just talking non-stop. And I realised I could do it. I could do it really easily. There was no effort, nothing. It took, no energy. It was just the easiest thing in the world to just talk. I'm sure it could be with anyone else as well. I'm not saying I'm special, although all my teachers told me I was special. But in a real life situation, you know, because let's say if you met me in real life, and of course as soon as you saw me you'd want to rip my clothes off. Not because I'm sexy, it's because I'm wearing really horrible clothes. Unless you was, I mean, to be fair, if you're used to hearing me, listening to me, just waffling on like I do, and you're used to just feeling relaxed, maybe just the idea of listening to me, when you think of me, maybe you feel quite relaxed inside. And perhaps my voice does send you to sleep. So if you saw me in person, met me in real life, it might be weird. I mean, it'd be weird, obviously. It'd be, you know, I think if you got together with all the people that have met me, they'll all say the same thing. Weird. Not in a bad way, necessarily, but weird, but I can't quite put my finger on it. It's something not the same as other people, but not in a good way, you know? It's one good, you know, you could feel sort of so proud of yourself. I'm not like other people. But with me, it's always been like, I wish I was. And then you say, other people, what's other people? Well, everyone is the same except you, are they? Obviously not. But I do have an abnormal brain. So I don't... I'm on the spectrum of something. But I just don't think... I don't think it's been discovered yet. Whatever spectrum I'm on, it's an unknown quantity. Wow. I would, like my friend has just had this, I haven't even started the podcast, have I yet? Sorry, Tammy and Jonathan and Tina who have got questions. I am going to answer the questions, I promise. But at the same time, I can't stop talking. I've forgotten what I was going to say now. Now that I've interrupted myself rudely, completely forgot what I was going to say. Something about being on the spectrum, and nope, it's gone. It's gone out of my head. What was I going to say? Something about should I get tested? Oh, so my neighbour, he had a full scan. So basically, he had a scan first of all, which was a CAT scan, which scans the bones and the skeletal system, I do believe. It scans other things as well, but this full body scan it goes in depth. So it scans your brain, it basically your entire body. And I'd like to, I don't know if I particularly want to have a body scan, because who knows what's going on in there, and I think I'd perhaps rather not know in some ways. But I would like to have a brain scan, because there's something not right with my brain. It's just, and it's not, it's a fact. There's something, my brain's never been correct. There's always been something off. A bit weird. So I'd love to get a brain scan, and just for them to say, because I might have only half a brain or something, it might be one of those that's like, which would make sense. But I might be just have a, what's that thing, the brain stem. There might be a brain stem and just a little bit of jelly on the side. That might, all it might be. Maybe some peanut butter on the other side. A little bit of bread at the bottom. I don't know. There might not be anything in there. And it'd be nice to just find out. Because, see, that's what bugs me. It doesn't bug me, but I just don't really understand it. Things like mental illness issues, mental health issues, conditions, so like bipolar, schizophrenia, there's so many, isn't there? So, and they're classed as brain conditions. So things like anxiety could be a brain condition, but quite often maybe is due to something that's happened in the past, due to phobia, due to, social stuff. Not necessarily... also got autism as well. That's a brain thing, isn't it? So these are brain things. Then there's environmentally, things that have changed someone environmentally, behaviourally, which can technically be fixed with time, with therapy, with understanding, I guess, that can hopefully be changed at least. So I wonder why, bearing in mind that there's millions of people with these brain conditions, let's just say those three, bipolar, schizophrenia and autism. mean, they're different things. I'm not saying autism is the same as bipolar or schizophrenia. I'm just saying it's a brain condition, isn't it? It's a brain thing, let's say, call it. So why are they not just scanning every single person with everyone was bipolar? Just scan their brain. Maybe every adult, not the kids, maybe just every adult with bipolar, scan their brain once. And then look and compare. Do comparisons. And do the same with people with schizophrenia, or there's lots of different conditions in between that, and but then do the same with people with autism. Just scan the brains and look at it. Because at the moment, all they do, the experts in this country anyway, I don't know, maybe other countries they do more, but unless it's a brain injury, they don't tend to scan the brain at all. So it's just guesswork based on how you feel and how you behave and previous history, previous medical history, stuff like that. So just scan it. If you get a broken bone, they scan the bone so they can see if it's broken or not. They can't tell if it's broken unless they scan it. I mean, they probably can, but it hurt a hell of a lot. Could have to really manipulate you, wouldn't they, to sort of to feel where it's broken. But generally, they do a scan so they can see if it's broken in one place, if it's broken in two places, if everything's okay. It's just as a clean break, and it's simple. A simple process, which is done probably millions of times a day around the world. So why can't they just do that with brains? And it's not about having lots of different scans, just one scan per person, just to start with. Because I know it's not safe to keep having lots and lots and lots and lots of X-ray scans and stuff. But just one per person. And then they can get an idea what's really happening, because they do brain scans on people, when they do studies, but just do it on everyone. That's what I think. But only adults to start with. Leave the kids alone, just to work on the adults first, and then perhaps move to the kids and work with that as well, because it's a very different situation for kids than for adults. So, I don't know. Any ideas? I suppose I was going to say any questions, but it could be, well, yeah. Are you going to answer the questions that are for Q&A Friday? Because that's why we're here. We weren't here to just be lectured about having brain scans. I don't know. I'm kind of quite passionate about that. I didn't realise I was until just now. Quite passionate about possibly... It just makes sense to me, I understand why they don't do full body scans for everyone. It is simply because it's too expensive, apparently. And also, they'd have to start treating people. Because, I'm saying a lot, aren't I? It would open up a big old box of frogs. I don't know if that's the correct terminology. Because generally people only get a body scan when they're... Not when it's too late, but, when there's an issue. I mean, if my friend hadn't turned yellow, he'd still be in his flat, unaware that he was unwell. Because he feels fine. and he'd be enjoying the football or the rugby or the cricket or the tennis. I don't know what other sports he likes, but you know, that's what he lives for. That's his passion in life. So he'd be having the time of, he just enjoys his life. So he'd be doing that all weekend and he'd be happy. Instead, he's stuck in a hospital ward and he feels fine physically, feels absolutely fine. It's strange. I've never known anything like this before. It just kind of doesn't make sense to me. Because he's not around, everyone he's around does not feel fine. He's the only one. I'm not saying he's the only one in a hospital that's sitting in a hospital bed feeling absolutely fine and kind of wondering why they're there. You know, there's no way I can say that because there's no way of knowing. But I'm pretty sure there's not many that are just, he feels perfect, or he feels exactly how he always has. You know, he's slowed down. He's nearly 80. He walks a lot slower than he did, you know, a year ago even. But he's aging a bit, and he's careful when he walks up and down the stairs. But so am I. Ever since I fell down them stairs a couple of years ago, I'm full on both handles. I'm holding on to both banisters. I've got like 5 coats in case I fall. You know, there's a trampoline at the bottom of the stairs. That'd be the worst thing to fall on, wouldn't it? Because you just end up banging into the ceiling. That'd be such a really, yeah. You know, if someone fell off if you were going to catch someone that was falling off a building or something, you know, and you were trying to save them, a trampoline wouldn't be the right thing to use, would it? End up back on the building, or maybe onto another building. I wonder how much it would cost to have a brain scan. I'm going to look that up now. How much is it to have a brain scan? How much does a brain scan cost? So I'm going to put in UK because it's coming up US. It's a little bit different, I think, in the UK because after your brain scan, £335. Ooh. Oh, okay, so that's the brain scan. So if you have, this is private MRI scans. Let's have a look. I'm just brain and head scans. Ooh, MRI plus brain and head scans from £199. Nuffield Health. I think I'd probably want to use, if I put in my town to see if anything comes up, because I'd want to go somewhere that I knew, you know, not some. I mean, there's one here called scan.com. I mean, they might as well just call themselves scam. I don't know. I'd be scared. Topmri.com. So Nuffield Health, that's a hospital, I do believe. I'd want to go somewhere that was like well known or well regarded, you know. I wouldn't want to just go to random places. You have to save up for that. Vets for Pets. HCA. Oh, right, so HCA, that's an actual healthcare, so that's a place. Private CT scan. That's a CAT scan, though, isn't it? I don't want a CAT scan. I'm talking about brains. Departments. Tests and scans. All tests and scans. Let's have a look. coloscopy, HPV screening. There's loads. There's loads. Bone density. Oh, blimey. Okay. Yeah. See, this is all. I wonder if you can just. I don't know how much it costs. It's not saying. Oh, well, I'll come out of that. I think that's like an insurance thing that you need to be part of. Huh. House. This is weird. Alliance Medical. If I was. Oh, this is. This. Oh, look. Self-pay MRI. Have a referral. Do not have a referral. Okay. Our locations. Why is it put... Oh, there's one. It's actually in the hospital. It's actually in the hospital area. How weird. I didn't... Wow. It's next to the hospital. Does it say how much? £440. I might do that, actually. Is that the whole body scan? Is that whole everything? Oh, no. It's it's £440 for one body part. Blimey. So, let's see. What body parts are they offering? Oh, they're not even offering the brain. Unless it's head. Brain head, yeah. Brain head. 440. Check prices. £440. So they're not offering it for the whole body. Wow. Left thumb. Check prices. You're joking. The left thumb, they're going to charge £440 for a thumb. A thumb. Altogether now. A thumb. I mean, not even both thumbs. £440 for one thumb. That's... I don't know. I can't... that's... But if you have your spine done, 440. How can a spine be the same price, or a brain, the brain in the head, be the same price as a thumb? It's just all about little finger. I don't know. I was going to say I could... It says groin, right and left. They can't... Not even going to offer the whole of the groin. I'd like to get a scan to see if there's still anything down there. I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything for years. Right and left thumb. Oh. Toenails. No. I'll come back to that another time. That's quite interesting. I might do that. So, Tammy asks, how are you doing with the week of chaos around the house? Is your friend up and about now? It's been a very, very weird week. I've been up and back from the hospital. There and back every day since Friday last week. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that's 8 days in a row. I'm not going up today. He's got another visitor coming later this afternoon, and I can't go up Sunday because there's no buses. Well, there is, but the buses are just really random every 2 hours, and I'm not going to do that. As it is, it takes 2 hours. If I get a bus, it takes 2 hours there, 2 hours back, because of the waiting around, and there's 2 buses to catch, and a bit of walking. So yeah, I'm having 2 days off. And Vinny, little Vinster here, seems to be quite happy that I'm here with him. Because yesterday, he didn't even bark when I left. He just sat on the sofa and just looked at me, and I left and nothing. That's never happened before. You know, even if I just go out and pop round a corner, he would bark, but this time nothing. What's been weird is Vinny's behaviour the last week. Now, he's been off his food. I think that's partly because of the heat, but I know it's not just because of that, because I left some food out and I gave him a treat, which he'd normally just gobble down and he'd be like chewing on it. The treat was still on the settee when I got back 6 hours later. And then he ate it. So he's sulking, basically, I think. He's been sulking. The last few days, he refused to get on my bed. He didn't want to sleep with me. Which is a little bit upsetting, actually, because for however long I've had him, 2.5 years, he slept in my bed. We sleep together, you know, that's our thing. And that sounds weird, doesn't it? Well, that's our thing, that is. Ooh. I don't care who knows it. Yeah, so but it's not just that he's been sort of sitting there just staring at me from the floor, making the odd little so I don't know, but last night he got on the bed with me, which was nice. So that was quite a pleasant experience again. But then I woke up and he wasn't in the bed, he wasn't in the bedroom, he wasn't in the living room. I thought, where's Vinny gone? He was lying down in front of the front door, leaning against the front door. Now, there's a chance that was just the coolest place for him to be. I hope that's the reason. But I think he is pining for his uncle who's in hospital, because he's used to hearing him coming and going. He knows everyone in this building. He knows where everyone is and who they are, and because he can smell and hear them, can't he, I guess. And I suppose to him this building's his home. Even though we live in one of the flats, he gets excited to say hello to all of them. He knows everyone here. And his uncle opposite me is one of his favourite people. So I think he's getting a little bit sad, missing him. Just missing, because sometimes, you know, I'll be in here and Vinny will be out of the front door and my neighbour will be talking to Vinny through the door, just saying hello to him. They'll be having this big full-on conversation. It's like I just leave them to it. So it's been a bit strange. I managed to do a few little bits. I did some washing, some laundry, and kind of ran out of food, but I managed to get some food yesterday afternoon, or like early evening. Got a delivery. And what else? Oh, the other day Vinny stayed with a friend. This was Thursday morning. He stayed with Archie. So that was a neighbour around the corner. and he's never had a play date before with another dog ever. It's the first time. Where he's been, like a dog he knows really well and just gone around. Because he's known Archie for years. And they're like best friends, but they see each other not all the time, but usually a few times a week, depending on, if we manage to bump into them. But they just get on so well. And they had a really good time together, playing in the garden. Apparently they were jumping all over her, the mother of the dogs, jumping all over her, like while she was trying to use her phone or whatever. And probably fighting over attention, to be honest. So they had a really good time. And I think Vinny, he's trying to go back there now because he wants to go back and play because he had a good time. But I can't really invite myself, can I? Can't sort of knock on the door. Can Vinny come to play, please? Can Archie come out to play, please? Can't really do that. Can we, Vinny? Not really. Not really. So he's a bit grumpy, but I think he's enjoying me being here. So he's lying down next to me. He's on his side. His feet and his hands are both all touching me. So I think he's a little bit more. He looks relaxed. He looks very relaxed. As far as my neighbour goes, it's the same. He's still in the hospital. He's chatting. He's bored, like everyone in there. He's just bored being there. He doesn't want to be there. No one does, do they, really? Let's face it. Who wants to be in a hospital? So yeah, but he's physically fine. He physically feels fine. I mean, he's not physically fine, but he feels okay. He's actually very unwell. So it's just he hasn't got any symptoms other than the jaundice. Yeah, so it's kind of, I don't know, I think this is very confusing for him. Understandably so. And he's just waiting to go home. But there are some benefits. I don't mean it. Yeah, there's some things he's getting there that he doesn't get at home. One is he's being fed 3 times a day. He doesn't eat 3 times a day at home. So I think he's quite enjoying getting food, like having cooked food. I think he has breakfast cereal in the morning, but he's having 2 cooked meals a day. He's made friends with the person sitting opposite, like next to him. So he's got a captive audience to talk to. And he doesn't have that normally because he lives on his own. I mean, I speak to him and I see him and stuff, but like me, I live on my own, so I'm used to being on my own. I think the difference between this is I enjoy the silence, the quiet. But if you brought someone in here, the chances are I wouldn't stop talking. So, so there's some similarities between us, in a sense, because that's why I tried to explain this to a few people over the years, why I don't want anyone in here when I'm watching boxing. I've had a couple of friends say, "Oh, come round, we'll watch the AJ fight, or we watch the Tyson Fury fight." And I said, "No, I don't want you. Okay, don't say I don't want you here, but no, I don't like people being here when I'm watching the boxing." For 2 reasons. 3 reasons, actually. 4 reasons. There's a few reasons. I'll go through them. The first one is I can't relax. If someone else is here, I don't relax. There's not, yeah, it's not relaxing for me to have. I'm relaxed when I got Vinny here, and that's it. No one else. I don't feel relaxed with anyone else. I'm not saying I won't ever feel, but at the moment, and there's no one that I feel relaxed around. But it doesn't mean that I don't, I don't mean I dislike the person if I don't feel relaxed around them. I just feel, if there's someone else in my home, it puts me on edge a little bit. A lot sometimes. The other thing is they might want to sit next to me on the sofa. I don't like that. The only one that sits next to me is Vinny. That other side of the sofa is for rubbish. Well, not rubbish, but just stuff. Just bits and bobs. Is just messy. But that's what that chair is for. This side is for me and Vinny if I'm not sitting in it. And Vinny can sit to the side, so he takes up a little bit of the other seat and a little bit of this seat, and that's his area. So that's two reasons. The third reason would be, it'd be distracting. Having someone here is a distraction, which I don't want when I'm watching boxing. Or, which is what I don't want ever, maybe. Not when I'm at home. Don't need that distraction. Generally. It's probably not true all the times, but generally. If I'm going to watch the boxing, I want to be able to concentrate on that. Even if I don't want to concentrate on it, I don't want to have to concentrate on what someone else is saying. Another reason is there's a chance they're going to talk constantly, which will annoy me. It distract me. I'll lose my. For me to focus, I can do one thing at a time. That's it. And the other reason is because I will talk. I will definitely talk constantly. And that will distract me. Because I might end up talking about something completely irrelevant, and I'll miss an important thing in what I'm watching, whether it's a movie, whether it's a TV series, or whether it's the boxing. If I miss something when I'm on my own, I can rewind, but ultimately it's because I haven't focused. But if I miss something, an important bit of information because someone else is talking to me or I'm talking to them, that's just, can't really do that. I'm trying to think of any other reasons, but I think that's enough reasons. I hope that I could meet someone one day that I don't feel that way with. Without getting all romantic, I think it'd be quite nice if one day I had someone I could just, I don't know, maybe hold hands with, or cuddle, maybe, and watch boxing. And maybe they'd be into boxing, or they'd just, I don't know. The thing is, they'd have to sit on top of Vinny, wouldn't they? Because that's where he sits. So it'd be quite hard. But knowing him, because he's got a real thing for women, he's really got he gets so much attention from women. He knows it. He's a little bit of a little stud muffin, Vinny is. So he'd be all over her. If I had a female friend romantically, he would probably not want me going anywhere near her. She'd be his girlfriend, basically, in his mind. So he'd be hogging her, he'd be all over her, sitting on her lap, and probably wouldn't even want me and her even sitting next to each other. The other thing is, when you got visitors here, they're always breathing, aren't they? Always breathing, making all that noise, breathing. I don't know. I'd love to be the kind of person that just enjoyed being around lots of people. I can be around one person. I can have a conversation. That was loud, wasn't it? I can have a conversation one-on-one. I cannot have a conversation with more than one person at a time without feeling... I feel unwell when it happens, I'll be honest, I do. And there's certain situations I cannot avoid. So if I see my dad, if he speaks to me on the phone, there's always both of them, him and his wife. Now, I can talk to either of them on their own. Talking to both of them is hard. Because I can't, especially on the phone, I cannot gauge what their emotions are. Or even in person, I can't really gauge what their emotions are. But because there's two, I can like probe one. That's wrong, doesn't it? But kind of ask questions of one person to find out what they mean. When you got two people talking, and then they're kind of maybe, I don't want to say contradicting each other, but maybe saying different things, but maybe talking about different things as well. I find it confusing. And, you know, when a few years ago, I used to say to if my dad phoned, I'd say, take my speakerphone, please, so I could just have a one-on-one conversation, but he refused. And it's just because I really, really struggle to communicate with more than one person. And this is nothing bad about my dad's wife, because she's brilliant. You know, I love talking to her one-on-one. The two of them together, I just struggle with anyone, two people. And when they're together, even in front of me, it's like, it's those silences that do me, where I say something and they're just nothing. Now, in person, you can see a facial expression. Doesn't mean I understand what it means, but it's something. And I can question it. But on the phone, when it's just silent, I can't like say, hello? Well, that's what I do. Are you still there? What are you feeling? What's your internal response to what I just said? Can't really do that. I mean, I suppose I could, but it'd be weird. You know. How are you both feeling specifically about the last paragraph? Is there an emotional response from what I just said? Please explain it to me in a way that I'll be able to understand. Don't know. So I've really... It's weird. I'll tell you what's weird. My neighbour, on the phone, he can have a conversation backward and forward. In person, not so much. He can, but it doesn't happen so much. It's really weird. It's like he was talking about some stuff, talking about cricket or some sport. I've told him before, when you talk about sports, I switch off. I stop listening. I've told him many times about that. But I can't say that to him at the moment because it's rude. I mean, you could argue it was rude before, but it was truthful. And in the past, we've been talking, and he'll remind me of something he said to me. I said, "Oh, I'll probably just stop listening," which is true. Again, maybe rude, but he laughed because I've told him if you talk too much at me, I'm not going to hear it. I'm going to switch off. And it's not because I'm not purposely switching off. It's just I'm so bored with what you're saying. Again, that sounds rude, doesn't it? It's not in a rude way. It's just a factual thing. If it's interesting, you've got my attention. Or if it's interesting to me, I mean, if I'm enthralled. So sometimes, that's a weird thing, the amount of people I've said this to, and I don't mean to. So someone maybe I see regularly, a dog walker, maybe even a friend, someone that I speak to, say hello to, maybe someone I've known for years. And I say something, and I was like, zing. It's like, wow, okay. This is the first time you've got my interest since I've known you. And I shouldn't say stuff like that. But it's kind of true because I'm all in. I'm completely focused on what they're saying. And there's nothing more important to me in that moment than what they're going to say next. It's like supercharged, super excited, majorly interested. Because I can't pretend, I can't fake interest. I can't do it. I tried to do it when I was a counsellor, and I realised I can't. But then I also realised I didn't need to, because when I was a counsellor, I was interested in nearly every situation. There was one person that just would not talk about anything while they were there. And I managed to get them to open up in the end, but that was difficult. But this, I wasn't going to be rude, because I don't want to be rude. I don't mean to be rude anyway, ever. It's not my thing. But almost telling someone that's the first time you've piqued my interest, or that's the most interesting thing you've ever said to me, that's almost like an insult, and it wasn't meant to be an insult. I guess it wasn't even supposed to be a compliment. It was just me being honest. Yet I have to stop myself saying stuff like that, because I don't want to annoy people. I just want to let them know that I actually am interested, and I'm seriously focused on what they're saying. And it could be over the most pointless thing as well. It could be talking about the zebra crossing, and for some reason I'm interested in what they're saying. For some reason in that moment I'm suddenly really excited about talking about zebra crossings, and I don't know why. I don't know. It's a weird one. Okay, I've never been excited about talking about zebra crossings, but yeah. Mind you, it goes the other way, because I used to have a friend who would ask me to explain stuff to him. Okay, explain hypnosis to me. They just sit there and stare at me. It's like, no. If you want to know about hypnosis, read a book. That was my attitude. And it was just because I'm not going to... I don't know. I think if someone wants me to sit there and talk at them, I don't want to do it. I kind of clamor up. It's when they don't want me to do it, that's when I enjoy it more. No, that's not true. It's just that whole... Because I think in a situation like that, almost it was... I feel like I'm put on the spot a bit. And it's like, I think it's a bit like when someone says, oh, so you've so you know about, if you ever heard about this thing? Say, yeah. Well, explain it to me then. No. You said you heard about it. Yeah. Explain it. No. That's not what I do. I don't explain anything to anyone. I do, I do the Q&A Fridays, but I invite these questions. But I'm not even sure what I'm trying to explain. But imagine being with someone, in a room with someone, and them just saying, is there something you're interested in? But them deciding that they want you to explain that to them in a way that they're going to understand it, and there's going to be follow-up questions. It sort of turns into some kind of oral exam. Again, that sounds wrong, but you know what I mean. It's like, just, no, I don't want to be tested. No. But I do like talking to people. This is not answering your questions, Tammy, is it? Sorry. How are you doing with the week of chaos around the house? Is your friend on up? Okay, so I've answered the questions. I felt like my brain was fried. Yesterday, the last 3 days really, but I got home yesterday and I was struggling to even put a sentence together. I was so tired. And it was overloaded. Is that the right word? It was too much. Way too much of everything. Seen too many people, spoken to too many people, and overload. Did I say it? It's overload? Probably from my senses were overloaded. My ears, my hearing, my ears, my eyes, physically, emotionally, probably smells, tastes, maybe, I don't know. Everything was just too much for me. And yeah, I don't ever want to go back there, but I kind of got to go back on Monday because I promised. Plus, he asked me to. But it's too much for me, really. I mean, also I was thinking, how often have I actually left my flat and left this area? This little area that I live. How often have I left there to wander as far as town, whether on a bus, a taxi, and really, in the last 2 years, I can only think of 3 occasions, maybe 4 occasions actually, maybe 5. I'm just finding 5, 4 or 5. So yeah, in the last couple of years, I've left this little area maybe 5 times. Once was to a funeral, another one was to the supermarket twice, I think. Another one was to the doctors. Another one was to the dentist. So that's 5 times in probably 2 years that I've left my little village. And this week I've done 8 different days in a row. So yeah, it was a bit... It's a lot. It's a lot, man. Jonathan asks, what's your normal dinner consist of? Ever go out to eat? And if so, what variety of cuisine? The answer to the next one, the last question, is no. I don't go out to eat. If I do go out to eat, I'm quite open-minded, but the last time I went out to eat, Oh no, I did go out. No, I did. I went out just before Christmas. I forgot about that. So it's just up the road from here, so it's not far. And it was a pub. I went to just before Christmas. Went there with some family members to celebrate Christmas before Christmas, and so that was a roast dinner or Christmas dinner. It was weird because I thought the whole place was going to be busy, and it wasn't. We were the only Christmas dinner there, and everyone else was just in a pub, like normal. I felt a bit silly. I just figured I really did. I thought the whole place would be busy, so it'd be kind of quite anonymous. Sitting there with Christmas hats on is not something I would normally do in a pub. I just, no. If everyone else is doing it, maybe, but not the only table. And we're just sitting there. It's almost like we were celebrating Christmas in the summer. That's what it felt like a bit. So that was a Christmas dinner. Other than that, the last time I went out, the last time I went out, I did go to the Indian restaurant locally. I think that was 10 years ago, 10 years, something like that. I did go to a pizza place, the Pizza Hut in town. I think that was also probably 9 years ago. 10 years ago. I used to go to the Wimpy in town because there was a time when I'd go out quite regularly, and it kind of reduced over the years. I did go to McDonald's yesterday. No, I didn't eat in, but I think it was either Monday or Tuesday I went into McDonald's and had a meal in there, which was the first time I've done that in quite some time. Yeah. I think the last time I went there was when I went to the doctor's. The doctor's is like a little bit up the road. So I think I went to McDonald's after going to the doctor's to have a checkup. Yeah, so other than that, no, I don't go out. I don't really have any kind of fancy cuisine like French or Spanish or Italian or Jamaican or Somalian or Thai or German or I don't know what kind of Greek. I've not really gone to many places. When I have been to places, when I was living in London, there was a tapas bar, which wasn't that Spanish. I loved it. Just so many different things to choose from. It's that perfect for me. I used to go there with my cousin. It's just up the road from where I lived. Outside of that, I'm trying to think. I went to a pizza place, but that's a long time ago. I think I went to what was it? Not the pizza. Is it the Pizza Hut? It might have been the Pizza Hut. And it was back in 2012, December. Not 2012. Wow, yeah. No. 2013, December. I think. I don't even know. No, 2012 December, I think it was. Really? Wow, whoa. It's just a little while ago. That's the last time I had a pizza, I think, in a restaurant. No, it's not. I had one with my ex-girlfriend in I think I'd moved here and I'd been here maybe a year, so that would have been around 2016, I guess, because I moved here 2015. My normal dinner at the moment, I eat a fair amount of breakfast cereal, and then sandwiches or something I can just stick in the air fryer. It's just for me, preparing food is a bit of a chore. I don't really want to be bothered with it, but I do it. But it's just bits and bobs, really. I don't really cook myself much, as in like a full meal and stuff like I used to when I was younger. Although I'm going to try and get back to that. It's just don't feel like it a lot of the time. Tina asks, if there was a movie about you and Vinny, what songs would be on your soundtrack? I'd like Dire Straits' Why Worry to be one of mine. Okay, Tina. I don't know. Wow, that's one of the hardest questions I think I've ever been asked. What songs? There are some songs that I would have in my... If it was a movie about me, I can't think about him really. I'm not sure what he would like. But if going back in the past about me, I would mix together a scenario that happened, an occurrence, with a song of that particular period. So, for example, when I was in hospital having my appendix out, there was two songs that were in the charts, two songs that I really liked, because I asked for them to be played on hospital radio. So one was Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler, and the other one was Down Under by Men at Work. Do you come from a man down under? Well, we mingle and then thunder. Can you hear the thunder? Total eclipse of the heart, turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit on a minute, turn around. What other songs? And then when I was about 15, living in my step-grandmother's flat. Papa Don't Preach from Madonna, that was on. I watched that video a few thousand times. I had it on video, and I used to freeze and stop it at certain points. I used to enjoy watching her dance. Madonna. I was kind of really in love with Madonna at that time, I think. And then there was another period. I know I'm not including Vinny in this, am I? I'm sorry. It seems to be like a question I'd need to ask him. However strange that might sound, I'm not really sure what he'd say. There was a period that I got really stuck into this particular song, which was Blame It on the Boogie by the old Jacksons. And I don't know why I kept thinking about this song, but it was 1989, and I'd lost my previous job working in a pub. I'd walked out of that, and then I needed a new job, and then I had some problems with the person I was living with that was living in the house that I was in, so I needed to get out of there. Everything was kind of went a bit weird, and I remember walking on to the pier just to get away from everything, and it was all windy. This is like the beginning of the year, very windy and cold, and I just kept singing, "The baby's always dancing when you see the dancing. I don't get no loving, that's no lie. Blame it on the sunshine, blame it on the moonlight, blame it on a good time, blame it on the boy." I don't know why, but I just kept singing it. And it's weird, just that moment. And then when I went to France, picked up a hitchhiker on the way to Kent. I was going to stay in a tent for a couple of weeks or a week, and because my landlady and landlord were going away, for some reason they didn't want to leave me in the flat on my own, which don't really understand what that was about, but they didn't. So they, because I was looking after their kid, but it was now summer holidays and the kid had gone to be with the dad for, I think, the holiday season, summer season, and they wanted to go and they didn't want me there, so they kicked me out for a week. So I went to Dover. They gave me a lift because I was going that way anyway, and they picked up a hitchhiker on the way, which was annoying because he kept talking to me, trying to make friends and stuff. And so we both got off at Dover. That's it. Got off at Dover. He was going over to France to see a friend. I ended up going to France with him. So he went to France, spent, I don't know how many days it was, like a week or so, just travelling around France, going through the Alps, hitchhiking, walking, trains. It's a bit of everything, you know. So we travelled across France, and I think, blimey, oh yeah, his friend was teaching rock climbing. That's it. And then we came back, went to Paris and went back that way. But I just, that period, I remember being in the, I don't know if it was in Dover or if it was in Calais, but I was in one place where on the monitor, the TV screen, they were playing Like a Prayer. It's Madonna's main song from the album after the one that she was singing, Papa Don't Preach, which was True Blue. So yeah, that would be a song for that period. I don't know. I guess it's just different songs at different times of my life. With Vinny, I don't know what song. Yeah. I mean, there was one song. I remember the Smiths. There's a song called "Last Night I Dreamt Somebody Loved Me," and such a good song. I really like it. And that'd be quite representative of certain parts of my life in the past. Oh, there's another song when I was trying to do my dissertation for my degree. I was really struggling to do it. I mean, in reality, oh, that's loud, wasn't it, again? In reality, it wasn't difficult. I just wasn't interested in what I was doing. I wasn't interested in the subject. I was interested in counselling, but the specific dissertation I had to do, which was, I think it was it 50,000 words? I can't remember. And I did it, but it took everything. But what I did, I started listening to this song that really perked me up. And it was, I think it was not R. Kelly. What's his name? I forget his name. Big star, but I forget his name. I think it was will.i.am was on the thing. Boom, boom. Let me hear you go. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let me hear you go. Ooh, ooh. Let me hear you go. Ooh. That wasn't a good impression of the song. Yeah, it wasn't actually. Whoops. Let me hear you go. Bang, bang. No. I think I'm thinking of two different songs. Yeah. I don't really know what song would represent Vinny. Other than he's just a naughty boy sometimes. Sleeping Beauty, if there's a song there. I mean, if I was to, yeah, if it was a soundtrack to my life, there would be, see, even, I think it's not even so much a soundtrack about what's going on for me, more just what I was listening to at that time. So when I was very, very young, I remember laying down in a bed or something, and I could see the radio, and the radio was playing Gary Glitter, I Love You, Love. It was like, I love you, love, you love me too, love, I love you, love me, love, ooh, I love you, love, and it was such a good song. I really liked it, but I'm not even sure if I could talk at that point, but I liked listening to that song. Let's have a look, what year was that? I love you, love. It was in the 70s. I love you. Isn't it weird? It's not coming up. Okay, got it now. 1973. So yeah, it was another number one in 1973. So yeah, I'd have been two and a half. I don't know exactly when it came out. Let's have a look. What month did it come out in the UK? Because they were playing it. Oh, November 1973, so I would have been 3. It spent 4 weeks at the top of the charts. Okay, yeah, so it was a really good song. So I remember hearing that and lying down in maybe it was my cot. It's weird that I've got that memory though, of being so young. I just remember the song because it was like the radio used to be. They'd be playing the same songs very regularly. I've got another memory of in the children's home in Southend on the radio, them playing Rock Around the Clock, but quite often. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 9 o'clock, rock. 7 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, rock. I'm gonna rock. 6 around the clock. And And I thought, I remember looking that up, Rock Around the Clock. Rock Around the Clock. So, of course, it was a huge hit in the 50s. But it also charted in the 60s and the 70s in the UK. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. So charts 1956. Oh, okay. So it charted in 1955-56. It was, yeah, a huge hit. In I don't know. Well, definitely in America. I don't know. Doesn't. Oh, UK singles. Yeah, it was number 1 here as well. And then it was also number 41 in 1966. Then 1968, it was released again. And in 1974. See, that doesn't make sense to me. 1974. Which makes you wonder, how long was I in that children's home? But then just the fact that they were playing it on the radio doesn't mean that it's just been released. But it was number 12 in the UK singles. Yeah. So I just remember them playing it. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. I tell you something strange about that song, for me. It's got an atmosphere. Maybe it's because I used to hear it in weird periods of my life, maybe. But there's a feeling connected to that song, for me. It's a strange feeling. It's not a horrible feeling, it's just a certain emotion connected to it. And the sound of it is unlike any other song. To me, it's just that 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5, 6. I don't know, it's something unique. I mean, I know all songs are probably unique-y in some way, but this was just. And then you had to want to shake, rattle and roll. I want to shake, rattle and roll. So that one as well. And I imagine that's probably got re-released quite often as well. Quite often. It is interesting. Bill Haley and the Comets. Is that right? Bill Haley and the Comets. Let's have a look. I want to check. The thing is, they all looked really old. For some reason, they looked quite old in the videos. I mean, from the 50s and stuff. It looked quite old there, or Bill Haley did. But in reality, he probably wasn't. He just, because it was all in black and white. He was born 1925, 35, 45, 55. So yeah, it was like 28 probably at the time. 22, 20, 28, 20, 26. It's not exactly old, is it? He just had his face. It's weird though, because if you look at him, he's got that crooked smile, a bit like Elvis, and he had his. I mean, he was around before Elvis, wasn't he? I think. 1952. When did Elvis decide to pop up? Was it 1954? Or was it 1956? I'm not sure. I'm going to shake, rattle and roll. I want to shake, rattle and roll. Do 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 do. Huh. Huh. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm just wondering how many hits he had. How many hits did Shake, Rattle and Roll Man have? Bill Haley. "1956 studio albums." Okay, no singles. I want to know about the singles. 1952. Stop Beating Round the Mulberry Bush. Okay, I will stop. Crazy Man Crazy. Patty Cake. Why does that sound familiar? 1953. Live It Up. Live It Up. Live It Up. So the US in America, number 12 on the... These are all in the top 30. So that's a hit, isn't it? Really? Crazy Man Crazy was number 12. And then Live It Up. Why does that sound familiar? Chattanooga Choo Choo. Wonder why that didn't hit. Huh. Yes, indeed. The 1954 Rock Around the Clock. And then Shake, Rattle and Roll. That wasn't as successful, but it's still a hit. Birth of the Boogie. Wasn't so much. Razzle Dazzle. Burn That Candle. Rock a Beat Boogie. See You Later Alligator. See you later alligator. Ain't a wild crocodile. See you later alligator. Ain't a wild crocodile. Huh. Rock the Saints. See you later, Eddie. I think that would be the same kind of sound as Rock Around the Clock as well. Oh. Lean Jean. Rock Around the Clock re-release. 1974. Shake, Rattle and Roll was on the back. And then again, later on, they released See You Later Alligator. Now I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, yeah, that's why they didn't re-release See You Later Alligator in any other country, according to this, except England or the UK. So Rock Around the Clock went to number 12 in the UK, and See You Later Alligator went to number 52. 1974. I'm sure that said 1973 though earlier. See, it's not very. This is Wikipedia, not always correct. Not always correct. Me. Oh. What have I got any emails? No. Junk mail. Just. Yeah, nothing. I think I might have answered all the questions. I'm sorry, they're not very good. I've not done a very good job today. I think, Tina, with the... If I was going to do a movie of my life, I think I just want all the best, all the songs that I like the best, or that I really love, to be played throughout. But there's quite a few. There's quite a few songs. Yeah. That's a lot of songs. So I'm finding myself falling asleep, so I'm going to go. Thank you. If you hear any pauses, it's just me drifting off. So thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy, and be gentle with yourself because you deserve to feel safe. Lots of love. Bye.